I had no direction in life. And honestly, looking in hindsight now, I'm like, thank goodness I didn't have any direction. Welcome back. This is Homie Talks number something. I am going to tell you guys a quick story that may resonate with some of you who are currently in school or thinking going back to school. I graduated college in 2018 and I had a degree in psychology and a minor in business and sociology. I didn't really want to go to college when I first found out about the SAT and ACTs. I never was a bad student in high school. I was just never an overachiever, but I didn't even know what the SAT was until my parents told me about it my senior year. I was never really pushed to be into it. College comes around, I do my degree in psychology because ultimately I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And so I did it. I enjoyed studying psychology, but I never really enjoyed it enough to want to be like a psychiatrist or to become an actual psychologist. And so from the get-go, if you're getting the picture, my pathway was never really set for me. There was never an expectation from my parents to become anything specific. There was never any expectation or I guess ambition from myself to become anything specific. But I continued on the path because I knew, I might as well do what I can while I'm here and get some good grades while I'm at it. And enjoy college and experience life and all that stuff. So senior year, I graduate. And again, a lot of people are stoked to graduate when they have jobs lined up. If they're becoming doctors or lawyers and they go into their application process for pre-med or law school, and you're studying, you have this whole entire successful future ahead of you that you're imagining. I had none of that. I had none of that. I literally had nothing lined up. I had no aspiration to be any specific job or any specific title. So I had a really strong foundation of life, but a really non-stereotypical foundation for a career. And I guess that's the main story of this. I had no direction in life. And honestly, looking in hindsight now, I'm like, thank goodness I didn't have any direction. Thank goodness someone didn't lay down a path for me, telling me that this is what my life is going to be. I'm so thankful that I've been able to make decisions for myself on which direction I wanted to go. And that leads me to the main story that took forever to get to. Master's degrees, graduate school, MBAs. When I graduated, I had good enough grades to apply for a master's program. So I apply to school, I do all of the application process, I write my essays, I get recommendation letters and all the jazz, and I get accepted. And I'm stoked, it feels good. You get that immediate high, that instant gratification of I'm included somewhere, I've got approved, I've been accepted, I'm successful, or I'm on the path to success. It only lasted for such a short while because it wasn't really what I wanted to do. It was just something that I could do that I know would make me feel successful and feel good and be able to tell other people what I was doing, right? So that people didn't have questions or didn't verbalize their worry for me, even if I wasn't worried for myself. It only took about 2 weeks for me to really reflect on that decision. The main idea was, okay, why am I going into this program? Why am I going into this 1 year extra of school? I didn't even know why I was in school in the first place other than to do it. And I still didn't really have any better bearing on my life as to why I was doing a master's degree other than, if you don't do anything else with law or science or tech or whatever, yeah, just get a business degree and get one that says that you have a master's degree and then you're guaranteed a job and you do all these things. Well, I went to Singapore with my family, and then I went to Malaysia as well. I'm adopted, so I'm Malaysian by blood. My mom and my stepdad wanted to take me to see my cultural heritage. We get to Singapore, and I'm just exploring. And it's really like a culture shock for me because everything feels similar in a way. I don't know how to describe it. It's like I now was visiting where I knew my blood parents are from. Essentially what happened was this exploration kind of really lit up my brain. It lit up all of these different sides of my brain that weren't really being activated before. I've never really experienced that type of culture shock before. As we're getting to our middle of our trip, we're walking around Singapore Bay where the Marina Sands Hotel is, the iconic one, right? And I'm just looking up at it and it's 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And I'm having these really existential thoughts about graduate school because that morning, the university emails me and they say, hey, Julian, I want to hear back from you as soon as possible. Please sign the documents for your enrollment and pay your first deposit for your tuition. And that's when the seriousness kicked in, the weight of that kicked in, the reality of is this really what I want to do? That reality check, that vibe check for myself. I'm very, very thankful and full of gratitude that my parents are the way they are and are who they are because I feel very comfortable vocalizing my thoughts to my family And I told my parents, I was like, hey, like, I don't know why I am going to graduate school. And they were like, what do you mean? And I was like, I don't know why I'm going to graduate school. Like, why? I don't even know what the point is. In summary, they're just like, well, if you don't know why you want to do it, then don't do it. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, like, don't do it. Like, if you don't know why you're doing something, don't do it. If you don't know the value of intrinsically to you, then no, we support you either way. Go find something that you want to do and understand why you're doing it. And we support you in that. And I was like, okay, like that's all I needed to hear. I just needed to help declutter myself and verbalize it out. And again, fortunately for me, and a blessing of a life, my closest people in my life, including my friends, are all supportive. And so that day, I went back to the hotel and I emailed back the university and I withdrew my application. I withdrew my enrollment. And they emailed me back saying, all good, blah, blah, we're moving your application, and that's it. And that was that. And after that, explored the world, felt amazing. And it was just this beautiful, beautiful trip where I really got to immerse myself in the present because I was no longer worried about the future. I was no longer worried about making a life decision and commitment and a contractual agreement to do something that I didn't really want to do. And so I got to really, really take away as much as possible from those few weeks in Asia. And when I got back, I had nothing lined up. And I was okay with that. I had nothing lined up. Except the job that I got part-time was at a music shop. I ended up working at the music shop from part-time to full-time when I got home. And I was just working 45 hours a week for like $10.50 an hour. And made a decision at the end of that time to leave as well and to change my direction, to change my path. This whole entire Homie Talks is for all the homies and homegirls out there who are either in school or something similar to it, where a decision or a path is set out in front of you and you aren't really sure if it's the path that you want to take. You're not really sure if it's the decision that you want to make. You need to follow your intuition. You need to follow your heart. You need to trust your instincts. Turn off all the noise, turn down the volume of everybody else around you. Listen to this, listen to your heart. Because I can confidently say, this life, I'm 28 now, guys. I started college a decade ago. That's gnarly. I was 18 when I started college and I'm 28. That's crazy. But I'm 28 and I'm happy. Like, I'm happy. I'm happier than I've ever been. And I hope you guys can feel it. And it's all through making these real decisions about life and living life and experiencing life and not just going through the motions. And I guess one thing I want to add to this to kind of conclude the video is I want to ask you guys to comment down below. Tell me, share your story. Like, if you are going through something right now and you're not at the point where you want to actually talk about it and book a call with me, that's fine. But use this comment section. I would love to see your stories. I reply back to every comment that there is. And if you need somewhere to share your story and you need a space or someone to talk to about it or just to listen to what you have to say, I am happy to be that resource for you. And that is it for today. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your week. My name is Julian. Peace.